Afternoon. The countdown to Gen Con is up and running. Things are going pretty hectic. This came while we were out of town at a family obligation. It's from Gemhammer and Sons. You might know these guys. They are the ones that do the card decks. They did the deck of many things, the deck of more things. They do a lot of really nice things to help out DMs. I think we need a knife. There we go. Too much for the ring. And I backed their latest Kickstarter. So, which one is? God damn it. Throwing away the box anyway, right?
Now we are.
We're in. All right. I have never ordered anything from these guys before, but I backed the deck of Dynamic Dungeons. One of the stretch goals that opened up was we all got deck of Dynamic Dungeons 2 as well. So here is deck of Dynamic Dungeons, and here is deck of Dynamic Dungeons 2, and here, oh, what is this? Oh, this is kind of cool. Looks like there's a sampling of some of their other work here. This is pretty neat. Gemhammer and Sons, thank you for your purchase. Please enjoy this free magic item card guaranteed to make your game more better. Visit us at, and then they've got all of their emails, Facebook, all of their socials right here. This is called Watson's Blue Blazes, a wondrous item, which is a longsword, a legendary, requires attunement. Their stuff is mostly for 5e. This magical sword hilt is said to have been wielded by the co-founding adventurer Watson. A blade of blue flames constantly erupts from its hilt. The flame sheds bright light in a 10-foot radius and dim light for an additional 10 feet. This weapon gains +3 to attacks and damage rolls and deals fire damage. On a hit, you can choose to cast Confusion from the hilt as a 7th level spell centered on you. Wow, that's a pretty nice weapon there. It's a legendary, it says. All right. This one is from Devils. You take D8 necrotic negative energy damage to the next enemy from the next enemy you face. Okay. Here we have Volcanic Spirit, 4th level transmutation. For Rollick's Guide to Violence. These are very nice cards too. Here we have the Wolf Spider Lair. Ceiling and floor and walls of this room are covered in thick, sticky webbing. 4 giant wolf spiders lay in wait to attack any creature that enters their lair. 35 feet circle. Loot is a wolf spider fur and drow poison. So that's what the backside looks like, which is describing the room. And then here's the front of the room, so that you can use it in your dungeon. Goblin Campsite. You see 3 goblins sharpening their blades, sitting around a small makeshift campsite. They immediately notice you and draw their weapons. Size 35 feet by 35 feet. Loot is 3 daggers, rations for 1 day, and a dagger schematic. That's pretty cool. So it looks like that's their typical back for their cards. And unlike a lot of card dungeons where they just do the thing, these guys just give you the descriptions. Then we have some loot from the plunder. Looks like plunder cards. We have a gemstone ruby worth 5,000 gold. Then we got 250 silver pieces. Okay, and here we have some, oh, these are all secret, wow. Secret Boss Room 2. The Warriors, the Radiant Garden, the Gallery, and the Arcane Alley. These were all stretch goals for the Kickstarter. So again, this is how they describe the rooms on the back. And then the front shows you, it's basic, you know, there's 4 doors and so you have to still come up with, you know, it'll work with whatever map tiles you're using, or playmat or whatever, or if you're just using Theater of the Mind, that works too, and it just gives you the descriptions. And I'm pretty sure that's what they said these cards were going to be as well, where it's not like you're not building a dungeon by setting out dungeon tile cards. You're building a dungeon with description, and that's what these are helping you do. It's nice too that it's got the bad guys right on there, so that you use this and then your DMG to look up the stats on these guys. So here's our first dungeon deck. Oh, there's characters. So here's a wizard pre-gen character. There's his picture, and here's the stats on the back. Words are a little tiny, but still readable. Very nicely done. Here is our rogue. So we had a wizard, we had a rogue, we have a fighter, which is also a dwarf. We have an elf cleric. So for types of decks here, I got a trap card, and again, it's got this basic design here. We have a trap card, which explains the trap, tells you the size, what loot is in there. You activate my trap card, dealing 3d12 to each creature in this room. A DC 30 perception check is required to spot it, and a DC 30 dexterity check is required to disable it. So that's pretty cool. Here we have a mystery box, a pinata room, a sign room again, laser hallway, Bray King's 2 electric boogaloo. Inside this chamber is a beautiful fountain. The fountain is a trap. Touching the water will deal 2d12 lightning damage to a creature. A DC 25 perception check is required to spot it, and a DC 20 dexterity check is required to disable it. Size is 20 foot by 20 foot. Radiant Hall, Pitfall, Trap Room, Crystal Corridor, Razor Sharp, Booby Trap, Dartway, Treasure Room, the Horse. Inside this room is a horse. Touching the horse causes it to explode, dealing 1d8 thunder damage to each creature in this room. A DC 15 perception check is required to spot the trap, and a DC 10 dexterity check is required to disable it. Size is 20 foot by 20 foot. The Golden Axe, the Braid King's Fountain, so that's the first one. The other one was the second one. The Boss Room, Phylactery Box, ooh, that's cool. An Aboleth Pool, Rock and Fall, Lich's Lair, Animated Armory. So again, I mean, this kind of tells you exactly, you don't even need the stats. The stats are on the cards. So this is nice. An empty room, gotcha again. There's 2 invisible stalkers in this one. They attack any creature in the room. That's pretty cool. Oni Gate, Bear Pit, Archmage's Study. And this is, I mean, it looks like that's what this deck is. It's something easy to throw to, I mean, you just grab a couple cards and there you go. You're off and running. And here we have the explanation. This deck is your guide to a dungeon of randomly generated rooms. When entering the dungeon, player characters begin in an empty 40 foot by 40 foot room with a single door. Unless otherwise stated, a room has a door at each cardinal direction. That's why the front of the cards look like the way they do. To determine the next room of the dungeon, simply draw a card from the deck and read the encounter. The rooms stay in position until the player characters take a long rest, at which point the dungeon shuffles itself. The characters may continue from whatever room they rested in. That's pretty sweet. So yeah, I like companies that do quick and easy. Think this Kickstarter was not expensive and it's useful. So I very much like it. And there's an open game license explanation here to explain the 5e stuff, I'm assuming. Alright, so we have 4 characters in this dungeon. And I know that when the stretch goals were going on, his goal was to have a second dungeon complete. And it looks like we were able to do that. These guys will be at Gen Con, by the way. I asked them on their Kickstarter. They told me their booth number, but I forgot it. But I will write it down because we will go and see them and see what kind of stuff they have. Because I really like these cards are really nice. And when I was a long time ago in a galaxy not quite as far away, I was in college and we were playing a lot of D&D, and I actually created a deck of many things off of an old regular deck of cards. So I think it'd be kind of nice to get something official. Especially since, again, mine would have been second edition stuff. So for this, we have more characters. We have a warlock, a tiefling warlock, a half-elf sorcerer, a ranger wood elf, and a dragonborn paladin. Ooh, we got a monk dwarf, and a human druid. Oh, and a bard, a tiefling one at that, and a barbarian. So that's pretty cool. The first set had 4 basic characters, and this has the other 8 to round out to your basic player's handbook. The card backs are the same, so the decks are 100% compatible. Secret boss room, secret vault, boss rush balance, boss rush dragon mist. But these boss rush things were new to this one. So the boss rush, like this one, warehouse. After the player characters enter this room, the only exit locks behind you. All combatants must be defeated to open the door. And then they put the different combatants in here. This one's got a were-rat, a were-wolf, a were-boar, a were-tiger, and a were-bear. Size is 50 by 50. So it's a basic arena. And then if you loot the room, if you walk away from this, you get a berserker axe, a silver secret vault key. So that's pretty cool. I assume some of these will take a key in order to open. The nice thing about this too, that's something from deck 1. And as you can see on deck 2, there's a nice big 2. So once you play them together, you can separate them back out for those of us who are purists. So I like that. The wording on these cards, it's not too small. I can see it. The character sheets are a little bit small, but I mean, what do you expect? You're putting a lot of information on these little tiny character sheets. And how many of us already don't know the basics of a paladin anyway? It's still nice to have it, and most of us who are of a certain age have magnifying glasses or glasses that do that for us. So yeah, overall, I think this was a great buy. I'm very happy with it. And I hope to pick up some more stuff from Gemhammer & Sons while I am at Gen Con. I'm not sure how many more videos we'll be doing before we are on the trip. My little girl goes to her dance competition coming up this next week, and then when they get back, we're getting ready to go. So we're getting to the wire. It's getting kind of tight. We're excited, very excited. I can't wait to be going. Last year was a lot of fun, but I wasn't there with my son, so this year Gabriel's coming with me, and we should have a blast. We finished our business cards up that we're hoping to hand out to some of the businesses that we like. So hopefully when we go over to see Gemhammer & Sons, we'll have a business card for him too. So have a good afternoon, and we'll talk to you on the flip side.